Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for spending your valuable time with the Adapt 2030 channel. I'm David Dubine, your host. The difference between California and the Titanic sank when its lights were on. Energy trade needs to cover 1.5 trillion. Margin calls, factories, lights out. Italy moving to candles, electric too expensive. Germans, cold showers in winter. But don't worry, Dutch city banning public ads containing meat. EU seeking emergency powers to reorganize supply chains. Different title, EU Commission seeks emergency powers. Supply crisis, threats of fines. You don't produce nationalized production in this system? $300,000 a day. The arrival of the electric bill, oil on canvas 2022. And you may want to move at lightning speed to set up your 100-foot farm. And yet another on a majorly long list of companies halting because it's too expensive to operate with electrical costs. EcoBat will halt lead production and battery recycling in Italy indefinitely. They're the world's largest lead acid battery recycler. So this is just another one, like I said, of a long list. So Europe is paralyzed at the moment, and most businesses have ceased or are in the process of closing until they can get some sort of cap onto this electrical price. Now, currently they're trying to fix anything from renewables, wind, solar panels, biogas, at 200 euro per megawatt. Now, that's standardized pricing, which was just the biggest windfall subsidy ever for renewables. They're also trying to pull coal and nuclear into the same cap. And what are they going to do with all the contracts that were outsold a year from now? Are they going to reverse the entire market? If they do, that is the collapse of the entire financial system. Reversing a year's worth of trades to make something come to parity. What about the price caps? Are they going to reverse that back down again and say, oh, none of you can keep any of that money, you have to pull it back? And these were the inflation rates from Europe coming out on the 1st of September. And you know, these were lowballed anyway, and these are going to skyrocket. You're talking about 200% increase in people's electrical outputs per month. That's going to cut back on what they can spend in the greater economy. And even now in Germany, they're saying no more hot showers. If you're caught turning on your heater, it's like a 2-year possible prison term. It is getting to absurdity what is happening here. Rising energy prices, unavailability. And this is it. This is the nail in the coffin here. What is in movement because of this, what happened since Friday, which I was talking about with Mike Adams at Brighteon TV in the studio. Energy trade risks. They were having margin calls that were exceeding the cost of company valuations Thursday and Friday of last week. Now we see 1.5 trillion to cover a fraction of all the energy providers in Europe. Have you ever wondered why we age? Not just because of years passing, but why do we visibly age? A big factor is a protein called collagen, or should I say the lack of it. Many studies have discovered that our collagen levels decrease 10% every decade. Think of collagen as the glue that holds us together. The less you have, the more visible your signs of aging may be. After years of searching, the closest thing we have to the fountain of youth is called collagen. And it helps rejuvenate your skin from the inside out by supplying it with 5 specific types of collagen your body desperately needs. By boosting your collagen intake, you'll help restore your skin's elasticity while reducing the appearance of wrinkles. Try it risk-free for 60 days by going to healthwithadapt2030.com or click on the link in the description box below. Time sensitive. Enter your details. They'll deliver it right to your doorstep in a few days. And now on with the video. Numbers I'd heard and seen German Parliament throwing around as of yesterday's news was 6 trillion to cover the trading risks. And these margin calls, except Britain, which is also in its own free fall at the moment, there's very little extra cash across in the markets. The same lockup is what caused the 2008 and 9 financial crisis. In addition to the spiking interest rates that people were paying on their subprime mortgages, adjustable rates. Now they're going to try to put price caps on gas and electricity. But the problem is that's called price fixing, and in history it has never worked, even once, ever. So I don't know why they would try the same failed method yet again. Margin calls are going to continue through the day and in tomorrow and through the week. They're suspending the derivatives market and the forward trading market as we speak. It's gotten so bad that in Italy, it's too expensive. They're lighting using candles, which would make sense why EcoBot also halted production. Too expensive. So I wonder will there be a candle shortage in Italy and the EU in general? Because you got to realize those candle making facilities are running with the same absurd electrical pricing that's 10 to 15 times higher than it was last year. And you can see why EcoBot also ceased production and recycling. Same Italy, same problem. They're going to run out of candles, and then what? What do you go to? Oh, I'm glad I got those kerosene lamps behind and multiple gallons of fuel oil. Oh, and by the way, you can burn olive oil as the Egyptians did. Check out their style of lamp. It won't work in this one, but the old oil burning lamps from Egypt, more like rub the lamp genie style, those burn olive oil. Which I couldn't place this one here. Germany is going to have army patrolling the streets October 1st. No, it makes total sense. Angry people and cold people are also going to be hungry people. You know, the whole ridiculousness of this, they're trying to blame a huge amount of these outages and power price spikes on this blackout in a part of the Netherlands. Okay, that's one substation. It's a continent. And they're deflecting any way that can be done at the moment. And this is the thing here also, in addition to the margin call at 1.5 to 6 trillion, which they don't have the money for, across the continental area with the European Central Bank, even asking other central banks for help is just, at this point, it's a moot point. So enjoy your days. Just go out and have dinner tonight. Enjoy some of the last workings of what you consider a modern functioning society. Because the EU Commission now seeks emergency powers on supply chains and threatening manufacturers that will not comply with fixed price manufacturing for fines per day. And I said, that is truly strange. Be scared, be very scared. Agreed. When the EU is going to use sweeping powers across all businesses, forcing companies to stockpile supplies and break delivery contracts, Houston, we have serious, multiple, gigantic, Himalaya-sized problems inbound. They're really telling you they're going to break the contract. You got to break the contract. So where does that go? Let's follow that daisy chain out for a moment. Forward pricing, futures contracts broken, delivery of physical commodities broken, derivatives, they're a sham anyway, but they'll have been reeled back, going to be broken. So what are they going to do? Reverse all monetary payments and anything monetary that has happened in the last 2 to 3 weeks, they're going to revert it back to zero and start over again? This is truly what they're talking about. And then take control of everything. You manufacture for us. We need widgets, you make widgets. If you say no, $300,000 a day for each company that says no to the widgets. Oh, and by the way, that copper you have over there, that was yours that you forward bought, seeing the future with your very smart staff in there, you got to give it all away for free. Now, we'll pay you back someday, but that supply chain continuity needs to keep moving forward, and you cannot, by any means, withhold your products or your base materials. Fined, arrested companies. I just can't see how this is even going to work. It's ridiculous to even talk about it. So if you want to move forward, 300,000 euros and a daily periodic penalty payment of 1.5% of the average company daily turnover. Now the EU is going to be commissioned to reorganize supply chains. Now we have seen this in history, and I say it does not work anytime it's happened. Wartime footing, barely functional because everybody's agreeing that they're going to, have a little bit of pain here for the better good. This one, that's their own futures market on the electricity that started this debacle. They want to reroute all this, retool all of it. Who's going to be in charge of that? Oh, and what percentage kickbacks will there be for each one of these moves on the chessboard, may you ask? So off Mish Talk here, They use all these different titles with it too that don't really zero in on the problem. EU seeks emergency power with a block on other countries doing the same. So now they're going to say, we in Europe can force to break contracts, but you're not allowed to break contracts with Europe. That's exactly what they're talking about. Force companies to make key products and stockpile it or face the fines. But they're not going to allow other countries to break the products. The only thing getting broken here is the Eurozone. And as the Eurozone goes, so will America. 2 to 3 weeks after. This is why it's such an important thing to look at here, especially in the grains market, movement of foods. Here we go. Heirloom, a Dutch city, bans all public ads containing meat. That's exactly what we need right now. Just in, China's coal-fired power generation reaching 120 billion kilowatts in August. Remember, you divide by 1,000 to get the megawatts. China plans up to 150 gigawatts. I thought it was 1.21 gigawatts to move us into the future. And they're getting 150 gigawatts of new coal-fired power capacity in the next 3 years. Hey, wait, I thought we were all cutting back. Oh, factories in Sichuan ordered to shut because they have a power shortage. Next card, please. Access to electricity in Africa. Definitely northern Africa, oil-producing regions, fully electrified. South Africa as well, getting close to that. But I'm wondering how this will also affect the African continent. So if you can think forward just a sliver here, like really just weeks from now, a year without a grocery store is where we're moving to. As this breakdown cascades and continues to lock up all financial markets, it's going to reach the United States at some point. A year without a grocery store. How do you acquire food, organize food, store your own food, cook your own homemade meals, and provide everything you can by trading and bartering with those around you, knowing your local food sources, and then you got to get into some action here. The 100-foot farm is a great one. Shows you the different dimensions, and you can find this one free online. It's a free download PDF. The Garden Farm, page 15. So you want to have everything pretty much just right out your door. Orient yourself where the sunlight is. The herbs in one section, the leafy greens like lettuces in another, the ones that are more hardy for different times of the year. And it depends on what you're going to intercrop with that to prevent pests. But like they say, what's the difference between electric-stricken, blacked-out California and the Titanic? Titanic had its lights on when it sank. We're all going to go through this together here. I was focused on the grand solar minimum side. The jet streams and cloud cells moving out because of magnetic decoupling off the sun and the earth here. The winding down of electric fields on the same exact timelines that we're seeing everything crash. So food production would have been affected these years anyway. But now it seems there's an excuse to cover every possible reason that food won't be inbound. Fertilizer shortages, with all this happening, how many ammonia plants and anything that's going to be farm input and fertilizer will be shuttered as well. Like the amount of fertilizer not produced next year will exceed 40% of all fertilizer on this earth will not be produced. That explains away a huge famine. Explains away why we have incredibly diminished crop yields. Forget the sun and the volcanic winter happening in the southern hemisphere. That's natural. Can't tax that. We're at the end. Wish you your best in your preparations. I'm still trying to get ready every day. As soon as I finish this, I'm getting more drip irrigation. Because you can use that gravity-fed style. And if you can do all that watering by pressing a button, how much time you'll save for other tasks. This is where we need to look. Food, food, food. And if you don't have time to do that or get ready, you can still purchase storable foods. My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030, the 3-month emergency food supply. You're going to need to get ready immediately. There's no more time to waste. We are at the end of it. That link's in the description box below. Every purchase you make helps keep this channel running as long as it can. I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video, and I'll see you next time.